But I think it's pretty incredible that, you know, you come up for a 3 guest star spot or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're working 12 years on a show. Were you, I mean, you must have been really good. You must have just fit right the fuck in for them to make you a regular that quick.
Well, they didn't make me a regular that quick. It was by degrees. They kept adding 3 more episodes, and then finally they were like, all right, looks like we're stuck with you. But I didn't fit in, I don't think. I think it was an interesting mix where I was somehow I was a foil to Sam and Dean's characters, and I was different enough that it filled out the cast a little bit in a way that when I first got on set, I hadn't really watched the show. I was like a kind of lazy guest star actor. I was like, I don't know, nobody watches the show.
Me, that's what I would.
Who cares?
Yeah,
like I don't know. I'll be gone. I'll be gone before anyone even knows that I was here. And so I knew that I was going to be playing an angel. And so I kind of showed up with this very ethereal, otherworldly quality.
And you added the voice.
And I had the voice, the deep voice for various reasons, because I thought that was going to be cool. It turned out it was a pain in the ass for a long time. But we did the first take, and the producer, who was also the director, the executive producer, director, Kim Manners, came up to me and he said, can you try to do that again, but not so spooky? And I was just like, I was the wrong tone for the show altogether, because all of the characters that played demons or witches or whatever, they just came across as real humans in the show at that point. Right. And I was playing something that was like spooky and otherworldly, because I hadn't watched the show. But ultimately, as that character got tweaked and honed, I was a fish out of water. I didn't quite fit in, but it was actually in a weird way kind of what the show needed at that point. Right. And I think, obviously it worked to an extent, because they kept me there for.
I watched outtakes. I just saw these outtakes, and it just seems like the whole time Jensen and Jared are fucking with you.
That is a fair characterization of my experience.
I mean, it's nonstop.
Yeah, it's abuse, is what it is.
It's abuse, because didn't you have a lot? I mean, you always had to say a bunch of. You had a lot of lines.
I had plenty of lines. Yes,
plenty of lines,
and they would incessantly fuck with me.
And you're trying to remember these lines, and they're fucking with you,
or trying to even just say them. Yes, it was maddening at times, but it was also, I think, demonstrative of the fact that we had a lot of fun on set. Like I think it is probably north of $1 million in overtime that Warner Brothers had to pay because of us fucking around on set over the years. Yeah, but without hyperbole, I think that's probably true.
Is it safe to say? I mean, like, you probably love these guys like brothers. I mean, but you all 3 are extremely close.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. I think one of the interesting things about the Supernatural fandom is that there are all of these factions. Like, there are people who consider themselves Sam fans and Dean fans and Jared fans and Misha fans. And a lot of times they butt heads. There are, small but vocal minorities of the fandom that, like, the Jared fans who hate the Misha fans or hate that I came on the show at all. And, and
you have people that hate you.
Yes. But I think that there are also small but vocal groups that think that we actors don't get along, or that, there's some feud going on between me and Jared, or Jared and Jensen, or whatever. And the fact of the matter is, we get along great. And when we, hang up or end phone calls with one another, we always say, "Love you, brother. Can't wait to see you." I mean, we really love and care for each other. But there's this whole narrative. Maybe it's the. Sorry, I keep banging the microphone. Fine. Maybe it's the fans trying to find a way to cultivate some additional drama now that.
But there really isn't any drama to be said.
No,
you never had a day where you're like, "Oh my God, fuck off."
Oh no, we all like.